Right guys, back. Oh look, I've got one of my t-shirts on. Not that I'm up myself, it's just it was the first thing I grabbed and I want to get this one dirty opposed to anything else. But just got back from holiday, just checked everything last night. Everything is absolutely hunky-dory. If I spit, well, let me have a chat about holiday actually. I really did enjoy myself. I burnt my nose, I've burnt my balls, I've burnt everything. And it was an absolute pleasure taking the family away. The little boy was proper amazing in the pool, which is really important. And I had a really nice quality time with my mum, because I go and see my mum every week, but realistically I'm not really there, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm there but I'm not there. But this time, because I couldn't do anything, just hung out with my mum. Actually took it on the excursion of a lifetime. Bear in mind she's 78. She wasn't very happy when I told her this. Watch. My guys have just scoped out with the coaches picking us up for the extreme off-road excursion that I'm taking my mother on. Yeah, so let's see if she deals with this. She thinks she's going to have a Z4 to go around the island in, but in reality it's a little off-road buggy. Mother, looking forward to your trip around the island? Pardon?
I just feel awful leaving Wolfie and Yaz home.
Oh, they're okay, they're swimming and playing. But you're looking forward to it, yeah?
Yes.
Good. Tell Yasmin where we're going.
In a bloody buggy.
Ma? Look, she looks like Schumacher. I told her she was going on a soft top trip of the island in the Z4.
Yes. I wasn't expecting this bloody thing.
How are you feeling, Mother?
Fucking knackered.
You're not allowed to swear on my channel.
I am knackered, sorry.
Oh, there we are. Well done, lady. Fortunately, we finished the trip.
No, fortunately.
But we're going again, Mother.
No, we're not. No.
Anyway, enough of extreme old age pension buggies. This is what I've come back to. Absolutely dry as a bone, and it has been raining here, so these covers have worked pretty well. So they've given me a lot of confidence to actually fiberglass when it is raining. I would probably ridge it up a little bit, some of it, but it's definitely going to happen soon. So what we are going to talk about today, and what I am going to concentrate today about, is a lovely cup of tea. Just spilled coffee in the pond that I'm going to work with. But anyway, by the way, this is not advertised. I just like the cup because it was free. Everyone likes a freebie, don't they? So what we're going to talk about today is the floor of my pond. So I've got a few things I want to do today. I've had a couple of really interesting conversations with people and interesting comments, which I've taken on board all of them. So one of the comments on board was about the filter chamber, the bio chamber, about why I'm going to put a purge on it going into the drain. Now, yes, I could put a purge on it, and I was going to put a purge on it, but then I put those real aggressive sloped sides into that channel in the bottom. And I was thinking to myself, even on holiday, I actually bought a 1 meter by 30 mil drill bit, because I was going to just drill through the lowest part of it all the way into the drain to put a ball valve on, like a 1-inch ball valve. But then I was thinking to myself, there's no point, because the only so I can isolate that chamber off anyway, okay? So the only point of me emptying that chamber, all right, is to check if there's sediment on the bottom, and that's it. I'm peeling like a good one, right? Is to check the bottom for sediment. So, but to do that, I'd have to take out all the media inside the sediment. So I've gone through the scenario on my in my head, sitting next to the pool, burning, and obviously every few months I probably will check that when the pond is new. But what I would do is I'd set up my show vat by the side of it, scoop out all the media, put the media in the show vat for 10 minutes, put my sump pump, which I've bought by the way, I'm looking forward to that to come, put my sump pump at the bottom, pump all the water out and inspect it. If I had a purge valve on the bottom, I'd still have to take out all the media and then open the valve and drain it. So using the sump pump or using a little drain off is exactly the same thing, but using the sump pump means it's way easier and I don't need to do any valves or purges, and that's one less thing for me to fiberglass around. So I just don't think I need it. So that's why I'm not going to put that in, because I really don't need it. That's the only reason I would ever purge that bottom bit, is just to inspect it. And do you know, the pond's going to be pretty self-sufficient, I'm hoping, so it'll give me something to do. You've got to have something to do if you're a bloke, if you've finished everything. Another amazing bit of advice that I've had, let me put this down because my thumb's aching that side, is the floor. So I was talking to Chip, and Chip gave me some amazing advice, and he said, are you going to insulate the floor? And I was like, well, yeah, sorry guys, I'm going to try to get that. A little bit of Deutsch scaling. Oh my God, hang on. Got it. It was your keeper. Anyway, said, are you going to insulate the floor? I said, yeah. Don't look at that bit of wet there, that's coffee. I said, yeah, it's a massive heat bridge, isn't it, for heat loss? And he goes, but the only problem is that over time, and he goes, 99% of major ponds, what happens is the water pressure will actually start to crush the foam, right? Makes total sense to me, totally get that. And where it's fiberglassed into the drain, you can imagine the foam, which is on top of the drain, and there's obviously the fiberglass goes on and it's fiberglass into the rim of the drain, all right? That starts to crush as well, which will also start to push it and sort of like crack it at the drain area, and that's where you get your leaks. And I was thinking to myself, I thought about that, and I thought to myself, shit the bed, and that absolutely makes total sense to me. So, another innovative idea I've got is I am going to insulate all my pond all the way around, apart from this one channel. So what I've got is my new stainless steel drain covers, okay, are dead on 12 inches, 1 foot in diameter. So what I've just got is I've got 2 bags of real good latex sort of mixed self-leveling, right? And what I'm going to do is, I've got some buckets which are just bigger than 12 inches, okay? So what I'm going to do is either cut some forms out of timber, depends if it's easy enough to do with my router or not, or put those 2 buckets weighted over the top of the 2 drains, okay? And put the self-leveling in. So that what that will do is, when I do that, when I insulate all the rest of the pond around here, okay, now if that flattens a little bit, not too much of an issue because it's nowhere near the drains. But what I'm not going to do is the central trough area here, okay, I'm not going to insulate. Now, I can forgive that is not an actual insulated part of the pond. That is no more than 1% of the surface area, I reckon, of the walls and all that kind of stuff. Bearing in mind, I've got a 3-meter window there as well. But if that, in the long term, stops it cracking, I think that's a very good idea. And thank you very much, Chip, for that essential piece of information. I consider that, to be honest. Now, I've never had a problem with that one, but that's got less volume of water in here, and I can totally understand. And like I said, it doesn't make a difference to me whether I insulate it or whether I don't insulate it, but I've got some self-leveling. I put that down there, and I think that's another really, really good piece of advice for everyone really, if you're making a big pond. Now, obviously, the Celotex that I've used, 25mm, you know, you can crush that in your fingers. Now, obviously, when Matt was going to come down and fiberglass it, I know it would have a lot better finish, but his foam's a lot denser, 12mm, a lot denser, a lot better quality, I would say. Probably got a lot better thermal qualities than this Celotex, but I'm used to using this Celotex, and because I'm doing it, I'm going to use Celotex, okay? Yeah, again, you know, I'm a bit gutted Matt's not coming down to do it, but again, another thing that I couldn't bear myself to bring him down and to absolutely bore the poor man is, you know, like, look at all of this air curtain and all that kind of stuff. I don't think he would have been willing to stay here for a day for me just to build up that back wall how I wanted it, you know. he would have lost his marbles. So anyway, hopefully I can get this thing watertight. Everyone's been mentioning it's going to be a nightmare to watertight that air curtain. Absolutely, totally. But who dares wins. And if I do get to do it, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. If I don't get to do it, I'll empty the pond and I will cover that. What I've got to do is empty the pond, squirt a load of foam in there, cut it off, put some tape on it, and fiberglass it again. It's not the end of the world. But if I don't try it and I don't succeed, if I don't try it, I'm not going to know if it's going to work or not. And I want to try it. Do you know what I mean? That's how things get pushed ahead, and that's how evolution works, isn't it? So this is the new spec for ponds. You can build in an air curtain for absolutely peanuts, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm trying it for myself solely, but if it does work, you guys, I'm hoping, are going to be doing exactly the same stuff. And again, really good information on those bottom drains as well, and that's coming from someone who's quite seasoned, so it's important to listen to people who've been in the hobby for a long time. I've been in it a drop in the ocean compared to most people. So I use all their knowledge to sort of get the right, well, hopefully get it right. So fingers crossed. I've been looking at pumps as well. I do want to get some more nice new low wattage pumps. I really fancied the Awaz titanium series, but I'm not going for massive pumps, guys, because the turnover rate on this pond is going to be really I'm not going to turn it over massively, because the results I've had from that pond, from turning all the pumps down by 50%, I've saved a killing on electric, I would have guessed, and also the water quality is absolutely fantastic. So I think even over the showers, guys, I'm just not going to hammer it through. You know, the showers on this pond with that bio chamber are really not needed. I'm using that more of an aeration to gas off any nitrates in the water, and that's pretty much it. Yes, I've got some Backy House media to go in there, but it's only going to half fill these, and I just want the water to go over there, just to smash through, aeration, and because I've got the Backy showers as well, it's a bit of a focal point, and it looks all kind of nice anyway. So I don't really care about the Backy showers, like I said, because I've got so much K1 and Helix Pro in there that it should. I could take a shit in the pond and it'll probably sort it out. The fines might have a problem getting through the bottom drains, but anyway, to tell you the truth, I do actually. I shit like a sheep. Little nuggets come out. It looks like sake kari half the time. But anyway, let's crack on with the pond. Not sure this is going to go today, but I'm buzzing because I've got a day off work. I was meant to be in work today, but the poor girl that I had in today has had to go into hospital. She's got a problem with her bladder or something, and she's got needles sticking out of her. She's okay. She's nice and safe, but she's definitely not going to be up for it. An all-day sitting from the old Taffmeister. So I've said to her, absolutely fantastic. I've got a pond to build. I'll book you in next month. So she's as happy as pig and shit. I'm as happy as pig and shit. Let's get this coffee down me. Let's get my work trousers on. Let's get the board. I've got all the boards as well, guys. So I don't know whether to board the floor and put all the chocks in. I've also got to do the roof. I've got to permanently do the rubber roof. I've also picked up a drain and some pipe work ready to reroute the. In the back there, I've got that's my downpipe from my kitchen sink, so that can't be cutting through the roof particularly. And also, I do need to make a trap and a drain just outside the French doors where the eco drains are going to be running into. So, like I said, I don't want any flooding on the patio. I want to put an eco all the way down the front of the pond, cutting in all the way through the front of the pump house as well, and that will pick up the waste from various different points. And something I wish I'd done for the old pond. It feels like I'll be talking a lot and I haven't had a breath. I've had too much coffee. Let's get on with some work. Right then, guys, I've just taken up the wood that was on the floor here. It was screwed in, and I must say, if I do this again, lift you up. If I do this again, This mix that was slightly wetter when I done sort of like the dry screening, I'll be honest with you, yeah, the first two mixes were not very good, so they've crumbled off on the edges there, but I think it's where the timber has got wet and expanded, it's pushed against the weaker edges and just lifted those up. I'm not really worried about them. What I've got is the slope there anyway, and by the time I put my self-leveling down here, I'll mix a bit of compo later on because I needed to do some other things, and I'll just sculpt that side in again. I could just put the foam straight on it and go down, but that's not what I'm going to do because I might have a bit of a weak spot there. So I'll backfill that with some compo, get me sculpting tools out and do that. So what we've got here anyway is my stainless steel lid, or drain cover. Obviously it's made by Carl. It's 4mm thick. It's quite a substantial weight. Okay. The circumference of it is 12 inches. Okay. I think the circumference of this is probably about 11 inches. So when I put this down here, that's where I intend it to fit. So all of the grill is totally open to the elements, so everything can get poured down there. So to that end of things, what I want to do is, I've scooted around and I found these buckets here. They're Plasterers mixing buckets. They are 30-litre ones from Travis, if you're interested. But I measured the circumference and it is perfect. So if I put that on there, the circumference is pretty good. Do you know what I mean? So when that goes on there, what I do need is a self-level. Bearing in mind, on top of this is going to be Kingspan, so I've got 25mm up there anyway. So I got 2 bags of self-leveling because I want a reasonable thickness on this. So what I'm trying to do is get a flat level and then drop it down. So by the time I fiberglass, if you take into account the fiberglass and around the drains here will be triple or quadruple like thickness. What I want to make is an indentation for this just to sit in, so the fish can't hit the sharp edges and it's going to sit in there nice and snug. Okay, so that is the goal that I'm going for. So if I remove that, what I've thought about doing is, this is perfect because this bucket, the circumference is a little bit smaller than the grey. So when I put that there, I can actually get it bang on central visually with the outside of the bucket there. So I'll put a concrete block on here just to weight it down. It's a perfect seal all the way around basically, and I'm very lucky because it actually, when I pour it, the bucket's chamfered that in such a way where it won't grab anything and it will pull out. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to put 2 buckets over these bottom drains, and I can also gauge the height with this as well, and we're going to pour a self-leveling compound in here, which will make it beautiful flat, like not a discrepancy at all on the surface of that. And then when I fiberglass down off the Kingspan, it'll drop down and it'll have a perfect flat finish on here as well. So we should get some real nice flat finishes and some professional looking fiberglassing done by an amateur. Oh well, but it's going to happen, and yeah, fingers crossed that should work quite well. So I got the old Karcher wet thing out, which works quite good actually for a bit of everything. Sucked out all the moisture from here. This was absolutely stinking, and the amount of dead mosquitoes I got out of there, no wonder I've been getting eaten alive. But all these drains now, so that bottom drain there with a pipe, let alone anything else, took 2 of these buckets. So what's that, 30 litres? So that was 60 litres of water. It was not quite full there, but it was 60 litres from there all the way through. So that's a pretty substantial volume of water just in that one bottom drain, and the other one took about 1 bucket. So that's nearly 100 litres of water just in the bottom drain section, which is really good for me to know actually for calculating and just interest, I guess. Hi boy! So this is the stuff I'm going to use, guys. It's a latex mix, so just 1 tub of that to 1 bag of that. 2 to 15 mil, set in 20 to 30 minutes. Do you know what I mean? operating time set in 2.5 hours. So I can still work on this now later on this afternoon. So what we've got is 1 cover, 2 cover. So, and you can see the depth of this, that side. See how perfect that is? Why didn't I make that mix the same as that one? It's all a learning curve. So let's get these in now. As long as, even if I come up level with that, it's not the end of the world because I'm going to put Kingspan on there. Now, the reason I've got that 1/2 inch drop was because I did intend to put Kingspan up here and Kingspan down there. So that would have given me the same drop. But now I'm not going to insulate this section. Okay, so I can bring it up a little bit. As long as I got a 25mm drop or an inch drop, that's fine. So whatever these 2 bags fill up is going to determine the drop. So not the end of the world. So yes, and like I said, these buckets are about 1/2 inch all the way around bigger than the actual drain cover, so it'll give me plenty of room to put a nice thick layer of fiberglass around each one. When it all goes off, done the flow coat, situate it. If I do need to build up a slight bead of CT1 or something like that, just to really make it nice and snug and seated in there so the koi don't bump themselves on there, try to flash off the corners. Happy days. So let's get this in the mix. There we are then, guys. I had the 2 bags, I put them in, which has brought me up 1mm underneath the level of that chamfer, which means when I put my Celotex down, I'll have about a 25mm drop onto this. What I've done is I've just splashed it up onto this loose edge to try to firm it up slightly. And what I'll do is I'll just get a little mix here later on. Well, saying that, my Celotex now will sit quite nice on there, so I don't have to worry about that now. That's 1 job in 2. Just trying to chamfer this off, get all these dribbles off. Lovely jubbly. And as you can see there, you can see the level of the bucket. We've got about 10mm I guess coverage there. So leave that go off now for about 2.5 hours, and what I'll do is I'm going to Celotex and insulate the whole floor and hopefully get my little corner beams and put them all the way across. I'm going to measure those now because I'm going to go out shopping to fill up the fridge again with the missus. See if I need to get any more of those, because I did do the bio chamber, if you can remember. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be down maybe 2. I reckon 2. Yeah, so that's another job done that I've been thinking about intensely, sitting by the pool in Lanzarote. Look at that white little bit there. Crazy. Anyway, so that's 1 job done. I've got to leave that now. I'll clean up intentionally here later on with the Hoover. And then I've got plenty of Secoflex, which is not cheap. I intended to use the Secoflex for the window, but again, it's not fish safe, so I'm going to use a different product. So I'll use a Secoflex for the floor. And I'm quite comfortable now actually doing the floor because I've been away for a week, and it has been raining here and there's no water ingress here at all. So God's looking down on me, I guess. So I'm quite comfortable now. I can Secoflex this, get it all 100% ready to fiberglass. I've got a little tiny chamfer to put down there on where the window goes there. I've got one more little nivet of Celotex. I've got my Celotex here. Look. Got 4 more sheets to do the floor. And what I've got to do is just round all of these corners here, make sure they're all nice and proper. I got to cut these out here a little bit more, this silver tape, really rough up all around here so it really bonds with the fiberglass. Same with the skimmer, I got to super rough that up. I'm even going to get probably a sharp object there just to key it proper good all the way around. Maybe not necessary, but I'm going to do it. And also I've got the 4-inch outlet or inlet to go in the bottom there as well. So what I intend to do tonight now, once I've put a bit of graft in, is clean that floor up, which I've got exactly the same self-leveling there, to be honest. It's absolutely solid. It's absolutely solid. So I'm going to give that a real good clean up. I'm actually going to invest in a dustpan and brush, I think, in Tesco's. So I'm going to do all of that up. And what I'm going to do is really, really diligently mark down exactly where the feet of my drum go, exactly with a laser level where all of the you know, when I put the rubber boots on, where the outlets are and the inlets are, so I can really make sure I get everything in exactly the right place. So all I've got to do is to give me a hand to put that drum in, and it should all just connect. Because like I said, I've got about 18 inches of leeway behind the pump to put all the pipe work and the pumps and all that kind of stuff, so they're kind of out of the way. Yes, I can get to them. That drum is solid. I could park a Land Rover on it, so I can lie on the drum, get down there. I'm quite comfortable doing things. I can even get behind the drum if I want to. It's tight, but I can get there. But the whole idea is I want to make it quite neat and quite compact. That's why I've kind of done the drum back to front with the purge lines facing away from the pond, so I can actually get to them properly to make it really easy for myself. But you know what I mean? Turning off a couple of 2-inch valves if I ever want to empty the pond or isolate the pond. It doesn't occur every day, so as long as I can get to them, you know, still able, I can still do the splits, so I can get in there. Right, let's crack on with something else while this is going off. I've got ideas. This stuff makes me sneeze. Sniper sneeze. Anyway, that metal tape, I haven't realised how much it cuts you. Alright, but it's a pot noodle break. The old Batlax has brought me down this. And exactly the same has happened. Went to Lanzarote in May. It's lovely. Came home. Sat down. Went to the toilet to drop a couple of Marines off at the pool, and came downstairs and she'd booked it. The holiday we've just been on now. Took the suitcases in this morning. Came out here to do the pond for an hour. And she just booked it again for the end of November. Her money, her decisions, her life plan. Anyway, let me spin you around. Anyway, guys, I've sealed the top there, and what I've done is I've just rounded off the edges there, and I can actually get my paddle roller right into there. So the plan of attack is, when this is fiberglass, up and over, and it's all gone off totally. What I do need to do, once this is fiberglassed off as well, is this stuff here. If you can see that gap down there, I get another row of this, and it sits on top of the fiberglass all the way across. So it'll be actually flush with this. I'll have a lip there, but it'll actually be flush with this fiberglass there, which is going to look absolutely neat as anything. So that will be filled up with compo, and that will be put on probably with Secoflex again. But all the other little gaps, which comes up to here, obviously the water level is going to be about here. That will be filled up with compo, lovely, nice and flat all the way across, to make sure there's no lips for any koi to hurt themselves on. So that'll be solidly filled with compo, which will lock down all the fiberglass. So that will be really good. I'm glad of that. This is still going off like a charm. I got a funny feeling this is going to crack when I pull this off, but it's still giving me the perfect forms and all that kind of stuff, so I can bastardize that and make that nice. What I'm doing now is I'm just sealing this with the silver tape, and I've made like a lovely little 45-degree edge there, and we've got from there to there is about 55-60 millimeters. So we've got the 5 or 6 mil of fiberglass coming through, and then we've got the window. So the window should sit bang on that 45 degrees. So we'll have a little 45-degree chamfer of about 12 mil, and then we've got the window sitting on that. So that's almost done all the way around. Just got to tape up the top there. That's all done. This has all gone off. I can walk on it now. Exposed all of this here. So these here have to be ground off today. Really key this area as good as I can get it. Got to go out with the boy and the woman in a minute. So I need to get 2 more pieces of timber. And as soon as I come back, this afternoon's project is to insulate the floor, put all of the little chocks on the sides, and that's going to make it look absolutely amazing. So picking up the fiberglass now one evening. I might do a night run, to be honest, see what my days in work are like, and if they're... I could go up and get it tomorrow afternoon. I could go and get it tomorrow afternoon. I could go up and get it tomorrow. So, might bite the bullet. So where I'm going to go and get it is off Jack the Balling Reefer. He's put together a whole pack to fiberglass my pond, from everything from the fish safe flow coats to the fiberglass matting, to the paddles, to the rollers. He's asked me to check it all out and see what it's like, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's see what it goes like, and I think he's going to produce these little packs on his website as well to sell to people. But let's just see how it works out, and well, if it works out good, suggest you phone Jack. If it doesn't, suggest you phone a professional. Right, there we are then, guys. So I've taken the buckets out, and it's made a lovely form around there. Some seeped in here. All I got to do is chip this off later on, chip all of that stuff off. But yeah, that situates, so my drain has got about 1/2 inch. So by the time I've actually fiberglassed into that, before this properly sets later on, I might just make some sort of jig or tool and just round that off there and get all this out. So yeah, that's worked out really well. I left that one a bit longer and it come out quite neat. I tried to take this one out a little bit too early and it's flaked off on the corners there. However, what I am going to do is round those off anyway, so those corners are not going to matter. So yeah, sod's law. But anyway, it's done what I wanted it to do. It's made a form there. Get all of this off. This will just all chip off with a little tool. Get rid of that. But what I'm going to do now is the floor, guys. So that's all done. I can stand on this. So what I'm going to do is, if you can see here, I'm going to mark the Celotex here and here, score it all the way down there, and on the all the way down there, but on the opposite side. So when I push this Celotex down after I've cut this perfectly straight, what will happen is, no, in fact, I just cut this straight because I'll put another section there. Yeah, of course. So I'll just mark it from corner to corner, get these chamfers off here, push it up lovely and tight. Job's a good one. I've just really given this a good hoover with the old Henry down there, Blue Henry. So yeah, and once I've got this stuck down, what I'll do is I've got a couple of sheets of bits of ply. I'll put a walkway, so I'll put a flat bit of ply there, flat bit of ply there, and wherever I need to walk, then I only walk on the ply, or I've got the central area to walk on here. I don't want to eliminate as many indentations on this as I can, but I want to get it done because hopefully I'll be fiberglassing this weekend. We'll see. We will see. Who knows? So guys, yeah, not too shabby. So I'm just doing that outer wall at the section at the moment. So yeah, it's looking neat. So what I'm doing is that, believe it or not, is taking a little bit of working out how to get those joints. Yes, I know a carpenter out there must go, oh yeah, you do a 45, then a 45, and a 45, and a 45, and it all goes together. Took me 5 minutes to work that out, but now I've got it. They look reasonably neat. So that was the plan all along. So the whole pond is going to have that little 45-degree all the way around it, which I think looks very neat. That looks like Ziggy Stardust's G-string. Look at that. So I'm going to take the family out now for an hour or so, and I'm going to carry on all the way around. So what I've done is, because I didn't want to spend too much time messing around on there, I've put that across so I can lay on it, and I've been kneeling on that bit of foam. But as you can see, it does make quite a lot of dents. So just using a spare bit of foam to do all of this, and then yeah, should be good. So I think I may have enough timber. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to complete as much as I can and see what I need, what else I need. But we're very close to having enough timber, I think, because I'm using the offcuts in here. So because the little joint there is quite complicated to work out, what I'm doing is just using the offcuts, which is like about 2 to 3 foot offcuts, to do that, and then fill in the space in the middle. So it's easier to cut the straight ones to slot the perfect bit in than it is to try to make that into one total piece, if you know what I mean. So we're doing it that way. The good thing about it is I've only got 2 more to put in there. So I'll work across, I'll do that corner. Then I think I might well go straight onto this corner, and then I'll fill in the middle, and then I'll see what I'm going to do around here. So not quite sure yet, but I've got an idea. So let's keep going anyway. Right then, guys. So I've completed all of this side. Completed all of that side. I have put all the joints in, so you can see the joints really good there, with how they butt up to each other. Sorry about the flashing, guys. I've got to change my frame rate. The reason I can't do this is because it's a bit damp. We had a bit of a downpour and I left that outside, but everything else is done. And what we've done is I've chamfered these. If you can see that, it's a 45 degree. So that leaves me with basically that. So my plan is, after I fiberglassed that little ridge there, I'm going to fit these in like so. Put some black CT1 or whatever, some sort of silicone or some sort of like something in there to hold it tight. And then when it goes off, what I'll do is I'll get a card, make sure it's nice and flush. When it goes off, I'll just score it with a razor blade all the way around, lift that out, yeah, that will be removable, but with no hard burrs. All the rest is very soft. It's all been deburred. The last thing I'm going to do tonight now, guys, is because I've done this here, but what we need to do is I want a little 45 degree chamfer to match everything else here. So what I'm going to do is, where have I put it? I've put it somewhere. Anyway, up there. So I've got an expanding foam. I've just cleaned and de-dusted everything here. So what I'm going to do is squirt a lovely bead of foam all the way across here, leave it go off for the night, and then basically sculpt it, which will do 2 things. It'll seep underneath the kingspan, which is there anyway, to give it a little bit more rigidity just on that corner section, which pulled up, if you can remember, and also that'll give me the next little slant into the bottom. But yeah, it's taking way longer than I thought, guys. I'm not going to lie. That's yeah, that's been a full day, absolutely full day. I had to go down to B&Q quick just to get my last bit of timber. I waited until the last minute, but I was down a little. But yeah, very good. I say from the knowledge now, the only other thing that I need to do to get it completely ready for fiberglassing is do my 4-inch inlet into the biochamber. But before I do that, I really want to spend some time, get the laser level out and measure and make sure that drum is perfectly situated, because what I want is a nice little 90 just dropping in. Bosh, well happy with that. So that's the score with that. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Another little update, isn't it? Every little counts. Slow and steady wins a race. Very, very happy with this like little section now, especially those bottom drains. When it's all blacked out and that CT1 is gone off around that and I score it, it's going to have a lovely little seat, and it should work a treat. So anyway, from me tonight, goodbye.